So I am revisiting the A Word because it's coming back on TV soon for their third series. And it's about a boy who has autism, called Joe, and he's played by Max Fento. And it's really about how parents deal with it, and the family, friends, school, and yeah, it's such a realistic situation for so many parents. So let's crack on with episode 1. So it starts with Joe walking down this road with his headphones on, singing away with one of those beach windmills blowing, and a fan stops and picks him up and takes him back home. He has an older sister called Rebecca, who's a teenager. Joe's 5, and it was Joe's birthday, so they had kids around, and they were playing musical statues, but Joe would, every time the music stopped, he wouldn't stand still. He just kept jumping around, and his mum Alison decided to, instead of putting him out, she decided that to put one of the girls out, even though she did nothing wrong or didn't move, which kind of felt sorry for her. Also, Alison's brother Eddie turned up with his other half, Nicole, in time to sing happy birthday. But all Joe wanted to do was play music, and he wouldn't blow his candles out at all, so he would just lie down on the floor. His dad, Paul, started singing a song which helped him get up. He started singing as well, and then he eventually blew out the candles. The parents think he's normal, and Alison's brother and his wife knows that there is something wrong, but Alison and Paul is not having it. So Joe was having trouble sleeping, where Alison would drive him around in her car to get him to sleep. The next day, Alison took Joe to school, and everyone got an invitation to a party apart from him, which obviously must be heartbreaking for the parent as well as the child, for being left out, for being different. Alison's dad, Morris, was having singing lessons, and his singing teacher said that she misses sex, because she's been alone. So she said to him that she thought they could, have sex when he comes round. He was shocked, I think, more than anything, and he decided to just leave. So Morris thinks there is a problem with Joe, so he spoke to his son's wife, Nicole, who's a doctor, because they just moved into next door to all of them. So she's said that she was going to try and find someone to refer him to. Eddie and Nicole was having sex, and she was doing something with his hand, and which apparently she used to do with someone else when she cheated on him. Alison was fuming at her dad because he ended up taking Joe to see someone, but yeah, she didn't like it at all. She was absolutely fuming. So then after that, the lady, where am I? Yeah, it was the lady. In the end, Alison and Paul went there, and went to see someone, a specialist, and the specialist was trying to get Joe to do simple tasks and activities on his own, but Paul kept interfering. So the specialist ended up saying, you know, if you're not going to let him do it on his own, then you can wait outside, which obviously is heartbreaking to watch. So obviously the specialist was trying to explain to them that he has autism, which the parents won't accept. So afterwards they went for a picnic, and it was in the same park where that kid had birthday party. So Alison said we'll go home, but Paul was determined to go there, have the picnic, and he tried to force Joe to play football between those two, and then he tried to force him to play football with all the other kids, which he wasn't having any of it. So it was hard to watch, and Joe ended up slapping him, and Alison went back and told the rest of the family that he has autism, but she doesn't want to tell anyone else. So yeah, that's what happened on episode 1. So in episode 2, it started with Joe walking along the same road again, singing with his headphones on, this time with a gnome in his hand. Same fan pulls up and picks him up, and takes him back home. Paul is building a restaurant out of this old barn. I don't really know where they film it to. It must be in Yorkshire somewhere, I think. And Alison told Peter that not Peter, Paul, that she was going to take Joe, out of school. Alison won't tell anyone like the school and that, so they can't help if obviously she's not going to tell him. So they were trying to make a rota, who could do what day or how many hours can each be person do. Eddie let Nicole go and see the guy that she was cheated on with, to talk about Joe. Paul went and seen a special needs school as well. Morris was having a pint outside a pub. His music teacher walked around the corner and he tried to run away, but she wasn't having any of it. Alison took him to the park and took him to the cinema, and every time they was leaving the screen, he'd run back in, so they would have stayed in the cinema for like 5-6 times. I think putting all the attention on him is leaving Rebecca feeling like no one really cares about her, kind of thing. So everyone was out, so she invites her boyfriend round to have sex for the first time, but her uncle turns up, and she was like saying, oh, she's glad he turned up and all this. So she was trying to open up to him, and he tried to have to talk with her, the sex talk. Alison keeps watching videos on YouTube about autism and homeschooling, and it was Paul's day to stay home with Joe, and he couldn't handle it, so he told Alison about the school he went to and seen, and she wasn't having any of it. Eddie and Nicole was having dinner, and they started arguing about when she cheated on him ages ago. And Eddie and Paul decided to go to the barn and hammer out the walls to release the stress. After that, Paul ran up to the house and got a for sale sign. Joe went for his usual walk, and Paul and Rebecca was waiting outside for him, but he didn't turn up, he didn't come back, so he didn't walk his normal route, he ended up walking to school, where his mum wasn't having it, because he made it clear that he wanted to go to school. His mum wasn't having it, so Paul took the decision to take him straight back to the classroom. And apparently, the only reason why he's selling the restaurant is to help Joe. And it ended there for episode 2. It is a brilliant series. It's definitely one to watch.